and welcome to HITC Sport. Alright, so the Premier League is back. And Christ above, because a summer of no football is almost enough to make me want to drown myself in a bowl of soggy Weetabix out of sheer goddamn boredom. What did you expect me to do this summer? Just watch the Cricket World Cup? I'd sooner drink a bucket of goddamn petrol. But Liverpool kick off the Premier League season against a little Norwich City, a club who I tipped to finish 12th this season, or something like that. I mean, they were 4-0 down after about 25 minutes. Well, what do you expect when you're going to a season with Grant Hanley in your defence? That's like going to war armed with nothing more than a pair of goddamn scissors. To be fair, Norwich did create their own opportunities, but the Reds were ruthless and the first half was a baptism of fire for the Canaries. Speaking of Liverpool, Mo Salah posed with a little kid this week who broke his nose after he crashed into a lamppost running after Salah's car to get a selfie. Why do I get the feeling this is going to spark a full-on epidemic of 10-year-olds punching themselves in the goddamn face and chucking themselves onto the f***ing motorway to catch the attention of their footballers? Lads, for the love of God, please don't do that. Anyway, Man City travelled to West Ham in a game where Manuel Pellegrini came up against old buddy Pep Guardiola.
The fella who nicked me job. Didn't nick it? Nah, didn't want it anymore. He begged for it. I didn't. Shut up. What are you talking about?
Poor Pellegrini. I mean, this is like getting into a scrap with the guy who stole your wife and kids and then still ending up in a fucking wheelchair. The 5-0 on the opening day of the season. I'd be surprised if the West Ham fans didn't melt in front of the TV watching Match of the Day that night. The likes of Ryan Fredericks will probably be spending the next week in one-to-one counselling. Declan Rice, England's future great hope, played like a bucket of warm horse piss. A goal from Gabriel Jesus, a Raheem Sterling hat-trick and a Sergio Aguero penalty made it 5. City are just too good, lads. So Chelsea travelled to Manchester United and Christ above, this was strange. This is what happens when the Blues don't go shopping for the summer. Suddenly they're starting the likes of Kurt Zouma, Mason Mount and Tammy Abraham. Lads who'd usually have been chucked out on loan at the start of June if the club were able to flash the cash. It was just odd. I mean, it was sort of like if you chopped Paris Hilton's credit card in half. After about 6 months, she'd probably be waddling to the shop in a bin bag. As far as managerial debuts go, Christ above, Frank Lampard to lose 4-0 at Old Trafford. Marcus Rashford tore them apart. Even Daniel James managed to get one. But this is what happens when you turn up at Old Trafford, or really any stadium, without a fucking defence. Cesar Azpilicueta played the entire 90 minutes as if he just spent the previous night drinking shots off a stripper's arse in the KFC toilets, while the likes of Emerson, I wouldn't be surprised if he was currently being buried 6 feet under a Stamford Bridge car park as we speak. But don't forget, this is what happened before the game.
Dear Man United, I'm heartbroken. My beloved club has become a laughingstock, all because of that man Woodward. I'm watching the coming season as a neutral. I've no strength to witness the repeat of last season.
No, you are a laughingstock. You are a joke. Glory Boy is the name, more like Glory Hunter. Christ above, your team is going through a bit of a sticky spell. So this is what you do. Chuck it all in. You denounce your loyalties and burn the shirt. This is everything that is wrong with modern football. You are a joke of a football fan. Imagine getting relegated, huh? Imagine finishing bottom half. Yes, Man United have their problems, but Christ above. You've just spent 60 million on a right back. You just spent 80 million quid on a centre half. And that's apparently enough for you to throw a petulant strop like some 4-year-old kid who didn't get enough Kit Kats in his trick-or-treat basket. Imagine going through some actual problems at a club. Liquidation, administration, to stop supporting your club because you finished 6th in the league. I know teams who would kill for 6th in the league. It's an absolute joke. Entitled, glory hunting, plastic. You are everything that is wrong with modern football, and I hope he sees this. I'm sorry, but this sort of stuff just winds me up. And what's more, football jerseys are f***ing expensive. You've just burned 60 quid worth of clothes. If you're not gonna wear it, donate it to a charity shop. Give it to some homeless lad on the street. It's literally ridiculous, and you are a joke for doing this. Anyway, Arsenal travelled to St James's Park in a game where all summer long the word on the street was that there was going to be a boycott of the stadium. 47,000 people turned up. Leaving the lads who spent the game watching it in the pub out of sheer goddamn protest feeling a little bit silly. David Luiz was in the travelling matchday squad, and actually, let's hear from him now. Was he excited about the game?
Hey, my name is David Luiz, and I'm so excited for the game. I'm so pumped up for this game, man. Go the Gunners! We're gonna beat Newcastle 3-1! I'm gonna do the business! We're gonna beat Newcastle today at James's Park, okay? Don't worry about a fee! Come on, lads, now we're gonna do this!
Oh, good Christ, kill it before it lays eggs.
My name is David Luiz, and I've come here to help Arsenal win the title! We're gonna win the league, man!
Since when was David Luiz from Texas? Since when was David Luiz £280 for that matter? And clearly made out of pudding. Christ above, I'd imagine that man sweats whenever he looks at a treadmill.
We got Aubameyang. We got Lacazette. We got Ozil. We just have to turn up. We've got Tierney.
Imagine being stuck in a broken lift with this guy. After 20 minutes, after 2 minutes of that, I'd be ready to drown myself in a sea of my own vomit. It was a tight game. Newcastle dominated the first half before Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang seized on a mistake to score the only goal of the game, which finally woke up the travelling Arsenal fans, who were sitting in the top tier of the stadium like a pack of drowned rats, while Alex Bruce spent his Monday morning arguing with a journey who said some nasty things about his dad. Alex, shouldn't you be at work? Instead of fighting your dad's corner about whether or not he was correct in taking off John Joe Shelby for a left back. Spoilers, he clearly wasn't. Christ above, lads. Watford 0, Brighton 3. Listen, if Watford had started playing like this time last year, I could have slept in a bed last Christmas. Although, alright, a piss-soaked mattress, but still, I wouldn't have been coughing up leftover yogurt packets in the goddamn bin. I think Watford must still be traumatised by that FA Cup final, where they were exploited quicker than an altar boy during confession. Their performance was pitiful. 3-0 at home to Brighton. Chris Hughton must have been sitting at home watching this game getting sick in his goddamn dinner.
Why couldn't they play like this for me?
Burnley smashed Southampton 3-0, with the Saints chucking in a second half that should have had the team executed on the coach. Ashley Barnes grabbed the double before Goodmanson scored the third. Aussie, Southampton are in for a rough all season, aren't they? Sheffield United snatched the 1-0 draw at Bournemouth, with Billy Sharp finally scoring in the Premier League at the age of 33. This man is the next Ricky Lampard. Now don't get me wrong, I miss my football, but sitting through Leicester v Wolves would probably be enough to have made brown sludge pour from my eyeballs. By all accounts, it was a miserably boring game, so just like Kerry Catona's birth, let's just pretend this never happened. Aston Villa have signed half the planet this season, and when a club does that, it's a bit like Fulham. It's a bit like a box of chocolates, or a bit like an ice cream van. Yes, the van could be filled with an array of delightful snow cones to choose from. Could also be filled with Gerald the town creep, who most definitely needs his internet history checked. Judging by this game, it looks like they might be in for a season of pain. They took the lead at Spurs through John McGinn and looked like they'd be holding on for a surprise win. And then troops from AFTV had to go and jinx everything.
How much did them man pay for Ndebale?
This is why you should talk during the goddamn game, lad. 3-1, Ndebale belts in an equaliser. Looks pretty class before a Harry Kane double seals the win. And assures that Jack Grealish has lost the last 19 Premier League games of his career.
Villa fans, you ought to know the Premier League's not your level. You're back in the top league for one season only. You better be worried because you're going down, 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 down. The Prem's different gravy. Your players, they're too lazy. The Villa's going down, 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 down.
Oh yeah, and Crystal Palace played out a goalless draw with Everton in a game where Morgan Schneiderlin was sent off. I mean, of course he was. He can't tackle for bollocks. It was a bit awkward. Zaha came on in the second half against the club who desperately were trying to sign him all month. And surprisingly, Palace fans didn't boo him to the high heavens after he showed his 5-year contract all the respect of a piece of toilet paper. You can just tell those fans are like that fat old husband doing everything in his power to keep the supermodel wife happy, no matter how badly she treats him. Because let's face it, they are never going to do better than Zaha. I mean, who are they going to get instead? Nathan or Edmund? That is like replacing a top-class Mercedes with something out of a goddamn cereal box. Anyway, that's the end of the video, lads. It was just a quick roundup of the Premier League results this week. Yeah, let me know what you think. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I'll talk to you in a while.